Billing and daily close. Now that we've learned how to enter charges and payments, we need to know how to close each day and how to balance each day. Let's review the process of closing a day sheet. Closing a day sheet requires first that we use our miscellaneous and day sheet date select to choose the day we want to close. Remember, it's extremely important to close your day sheets in date order. So you can see on 11/23 we have some charges and or payments in. We also have some in on 11/22. I don't want to close the day sheet 11/23 until I have completed and closed out my 11/22 day sheet. Let's go ahead and review in brief the process. I'm not going to describe each detail along the way. We'll get into some further description when we repeat the process on 11/23. The steps to closing a day sheet are: first, go into your day sheet date select and select the day sheet you want to close and click on the Accept button. Next, you're going to go to your Billing and Day Sheet menu option. You can also create a shortcut in your quick link icons for this so that you're not having to drill through the menus. Once the day sheet populates, you may come across a message indicating that somebody's currently posting or attached. Now, unless you know you have a biller in the system that may be posting charges and or payments to this day sheet, you can go ahead and say yes. If you think you have a biller attached to this day sheet, you'll want to go ahead and check with someone before proceeding. We're going to go ahead and proceed. You'll notice our day sheet options that open. The options screen allows us to select and run sub-reports. By default, the sort order is going to be in the order posted. At any point, you can change this as desired. The last checkbox allows you to show by operator. Remember, this function is only needed if an individual user needs to run a day sheet just for themselves to see if they're in balance. For closing a day sheet, this checkbox is not necessary. We're going to go ahead and accept. You'll notice we have a 21-page day sheet, and each patient is listed on this day sheet. As we scroll down, you can see all of our adjustments and so forth on the day sheet. Just after all of the posting items are listed, you're going to see the day's total and day summary boxes. The payments listed in the day summary or our deposit for the day should balance too. This is indicating that we should have in checks in cash $28,523.67 if we posted everything correctly. The top section under Days Total will break down our cash payments, check and charge cards, and electronic payments. These totals, however, do include our adjustments. So when we take our total payments here and we lessen by our total adjustments for reducing payments, we should get the balance of $28,523.67. Once we determine that our day's summary payment total is correct, we're ready to close the day sheet. The process for closing the day sheet is as follows. You're going to go to your day sheet menu options and hit your print icon. Once your print job for your day sheet is complete, the system's going to bring up a second window. If you are only printing your day sheet to review the record and you don't want to close, just simply cancel out of this window. This is the case when an individual user is just trying to make sure that they have collected or can account for all the cash and checks that they took in and are balancing just themselves. They'll want to just hit cancel. If they don't have permissions to close a day sheet, they won't even have the option. In the case that you are closing the day, you will want to print a deposit slip. This will list out each and every line item and total out your payments for deposit. You can choose whether or not you want to print your patient names with those deposits. Print a charge slip report. This is going to tell you if there were patients that had charge slips printed but no charges posted, allowing you to follow up to make sure no patient charges are missed on any given day. Erase the day sheet. This is the process of actually closing the day and writing these numbers to the database. Once a day sheet is erased, it cannot be reproduced. You will have the ability to view the day sheet for approximately 35 days. However, the day sheet data is purged automatically within 35 days. That is one of the reasons that you're forced to print the report prior to closing the day. And finally, you have the missed appointment report. If you're using check-in, check-out, it will allow you to process missed appointments while closing the day. What this does is it goes into appointments for today's schedule or the date that we're closing. In this case, it'll be 11/22. I'm just going to mark those patients as missed appointments automatically. This makes it where your scheduling personnel don't have to individually go into patient accounts. If you have missed appointments and document those, the system will do it automatically. Once we're complete, we're just going to hit accept, and it's going to print off our reports. Here's our missed appointment report. Now, because I haven't used check-in, check-out for this day, that's why you're seeing such a long list of names. If I wanted to update the patient accounts, I would simply hit update. If I just wanted to generate a report on their listing, I would hit print. Or I can just hit close and do nothing with that. Next, it's going to ask me if I want to reset my batch totals. That's just asking me in our charge entry screen if I want to reset those numbers, and the answer is yes. Finally, when the day sheet has completed the closing process, it will simply close, and you'll notice under your day sheet select that day sheet 11/22 is no longer available. Those numbers have been written to the database. So let's review the process again, but let's get into a little more detail. And let me cancel out of here and recap from the very beginning. When you're ready to close the day sheet, you're going to go to Billing and Day Sheet. You're going to select the date that you're going to close. Remember to close these in date order, always closing the earliest date first. When I hit accept, this brings up our day sheet option window. I can choose to include or not include the sub-reports available in the closing process. Remember, if I'm just trying to run totals for a single operator, like maybe front desk collecting copays wants to make sure they have the money that has been posted if they post payments, they'll select their own name in the list, hit accept, and the system's only going to show them the payments that they've posted. In this case, I selected Karen, and Karen's posted nothing, so I have a blank day sheet. If I want to go run for another operator, I just come over and hit my options, check that last show by operator box, and choose another user. Like here, when I say user, because that's who I'm logged in as, and I hit accept, you'll notice there's going to be quite a bit. And I can scroll down and see what my payment total is. Had I posted any payments, those would be showing up here. Let's go through the detail on this. Notice that some items are regular font and some are bold. The bold items are simply telling you that this has been reduced and then deleted. So if I were to go into this patient, Peter Paxton's account, I would see that at one point he had a 99213 and an 80100 posted. And then those were for $46 and $41. And then those charges were reversed off. And so we have a just to reduce charge of 46 and 41, zeroing out that sequence. Let's see how that looks on the patient screen. So I'm opening up first the charges window and going into Peter Paxton, which is account number 1029.0. It is sequence 16. Notice sequence 16 is missing. That's because it's been deleted. It could be that sequence was zeroed out, and I would be able to put number 9,999 and hit search to bring back all sequences. But in this case, you're still going to notice that sequence number 16 is missing. That tells you that sequence 16 was deleted. And if I use my control F5, remember F5 opens our patient screen, and control tells the system, I want to open patient demographics for the patient that I'm currently viewing, which is Peter Paxton. And when I go into the patient log where the deleted transactions are stored, I can hit the deleted transaction button and I'll see sequence 16 in here. You can see the $46 charge and the $41 charge, as well as the $46 and $41 adjustments to reverse those charges off the system. Okay, so we can see that this bold sequence, number 16, has been deleted. The only way the system would allow you to delete it is if it were zeroed out. And that's the case in this particular example. Now we can see Peter Paxton, which is sequence number 17, and we can see that the charge is pending. If I go back into my Peter Paxton account, I'm hitting my F6 window for charges and payments, and I'm hitting F12 because I was just in this patient. And I can see sequence 17 with a $279 balance pending insurance. And I can continue to scroll through here looking at information that makes up my day sheet. Let's back out for a moment. And remember, we're connected right now to the 11/23 day sheet. And I want to go ahead and make a couple of payments. Let's go ahead back in Peter Paxton by going into our charges and payment screen, hitting F12, and let's go ahead and post his copay. You'll remember from our patient payment posting, I can highlight the sequence and hit my payment link over to the left, or my Control R allows me to go in to post a payment. It's automatically bringing me into the primary insurance plan payment window because it's pending insurance currently. But I'm going to hit my toggle button because I know that I'm only supposed to post primary insurance in that green window. My patient payments must always be in the blue payment calculation window. And let's go ahead and say $10 copay. So I can see he has a $10 copay here. So let's go ahead and post that $10 copay. I'm going to come down in the bottom left corner, put in my $10, not forgetting to hit disperse, because if I don't disperse, the system won't display properly. And we'll go ahead and say that he gave us a check. And let me push this down just a bit so I can show you. I'm going to change where it's expecting an insurance payment and put my check payment from patient. His check number was $77.55 for $10. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. So you see the blue line that indicates a copay was due. Well, once we close this day sheet, you'll notice that blue line goes away. Now, I want to also go ahead and post an insurance payment. I know it's kind of quick. We just created the charge. But let's just pretend like insurance is paid. How would I post an insurance payment? Let's back all the way out. And I get an insurance payment in the mail, go into my charges and payments, pull up my patient account. I would key in the last name or the account number. In this case, I can use my F12 key. Highlight the row that I want to post payment in. Now, remember, if I knew it was sequence 17 for my EOB, I could come into my search window and just put in the account number .0 dash the sequence number and hit my enter key. The system's automatically going to take me in to post the insurance for which it's pending. Had primary already been posted, it would automatically take me in to the secondary payment window. Since primary is pending, it's going to go ahead and bring me there. I'm just going to pretend like all of these numbers for all of these charges match my EOB, and I'm going to drag and drop into my payment area. Let me slide this down, and you can see it's showing a primary payment for $119.89, a write-off for $133.78, and a coinsurance $25.33, leaving us total sequence balance of $15.33, which is my coinsurance minus the $10 copay. If everything looks the way I want it to, I can go ahead and hit save, and I can save that payment. Now let's say that the secondary insurance has not been crossed over, and I do want to file the secondary. If I wasn't going to file the secondary, I would simply delete the secondary claim, and the full balance would stay at patient responsibility. If the claim had been crossed over by the insurance company, remember that I would just choose crossover. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say process. All process does is set the sequence to pending secondary insurance payment. And it puts it to secondary and patient responsibility. It's automatically going to bring me into the claim modification window, just in case I have to enter any type of insurance type code or other information on the claim. In this case, we'll just say everything's good, and close out and hit our OK button. Takes us back down to our patient sequence screen, where I could exit and post on my next patient. So now that we've posted a couple of payments, let's go look at our daysheet again. Remember, we access the daysheet by going to Billing and Daysheet. I'm going to go ahead and accept and just run the daysheet wide open. But this time, I'm going to be looking just above my days totals box because I want to see those payments that we've posted. And here you can see I have a payment code 2, which is check on our system. PO is payment other. It says it's payment by check number 7755 in the amount of $10. Additionally, I can see the next sequence posted to was that same one, but it was payment code 29, which is MedMutual Ohio Insurance, and it shows the payment and the adjustment. When I come down to my days totals, you'll notice now that I have a payment total, and this is what my deposit should reflect. If my deposit reflects $129.89, I know I'm in balance, and I'm okay to continue with the closing process. If for some reason my total was off, I would want to stop and go through each of these line items to see where I might have misposted something. Maybe I posted a payment to the wrong day sheet and I expect it to be here, but it's really on 11/24. This is where the system can't really tell you where things went wrong. You're going to have to just go back using the reporting tools like the day sheet to go line item by line item to see where your money is. One thing that may help in that process are the sub-reports that we've brought into the close. And let me scroll down just a bit. Let's take a look at these. I have a provider summary that shows me by provider charges, payments, write-offs, and refunds. We have an operator summary. If you have more than one operator posting either charges, payments, or both to the system, it's going to break those down by operator. We have the insurance class summary, allowing us to see the totals by insurance class. And finally, we have the payment summary, which will give us a listing of all the payments, allowing us to identify where we're missing something. For instance, let's say that I had $149.89 to deposit, but my day sheet's only showing $129.89. I would want to find out where that $20 is. And if I looked at the payments I had on hand, I would see that there was a $20 check, let's say for Anthony Smith's account. So I could pull up Smith, Anthony, and I could go into Anthony's chart or account, and I would probably have done the F7 screen for Anthony Smith. And I would have just come over to account history on the left and looked at the payment listing. And if this $10, let's just pretend like these two $10 are the payments, I could double click to see where that money was posted, and that would help me track down. Maybe I put it on a different day sheet. This is going to indicate to me where that money is. I can see that it was posted to date of service 11/23, and I can see that it's sequence number 11. So I can close out of here, and I can go to my sequence number 11. Notice they're numbered here. And I would be able to see on this by double clicking. You can see the sequence here. And I would come in and I would be able to see the charge, the payment, and the information including the day sheet when it was posted. And so I would know that for some reason my payment got posted to a different day sheet. To fix that, I would open that 11/22 day sheet. I would adjust the payment off, and I would move the money to the 11/23 day sheet. We'll review that as it becomes necessary. But that's how you would track down an error, by going through the different report information available, and then certainly contact our support division. Once, let's just say in this case, 129 was my expected, I'm in balance, and I want to close. I'm simply going to hit print. And remember, I'm going to print all of these reports off. I don't have to. At a minimum, you have to print or erase the day sheet. The system will require that, because the erased day sheet is what writes these totals to the system. Once we go back under miscellaneous and day sheet select, you'll see that our day sheet is closed or gone. Now remember when we had a payment posted to the 11/22 day sheet when it should have been on the 11/23. To fix that, I would come in and say new, and I would open an old day sheet. Only certain people are going to have the authority to do this. I would go on to that 11/22 and I would adjust off the $20 payment that was posted in error, and I would close that day sheet. I would take this second 11/22 day sheet and make sure to attach that to the original printout for 11/22 so that all my totals are correct. Next, I would create another 11/23 day sheet. Well, really, if I wasn't in balance on 11/23, I would not have closed it. So then I would just be going back into 11/23 and posting the payment as I should have in the beginning. This concludes training for closing a day sheet. Thank you.